wish to share some methods. Energy. See, this is most important. Please listen this one. Seated preview year paper analysis shows that one question of a BSc every year now from this section at least one or two question has been asked. Okay, like 2011 they have asked one question from this section, two question in 2012 and 2013, three questions in 2014 from this section, five questions in 2015, two questions in 2016 has been asked. So mostly from this chapter question asked from this paper. So most of the questions are exactly asked from this topic. So you need to do this topic very nicely. Please remember this one. Okay. So please remember this one. Most of the topics questions are exactly asked from here. So let's check this one out. So how to solve? Okay. Yes. So most of the questions they are exactly asking from this topics. We are going to do this one very carefully. Now, what is the question here is, let me see, you need to understand that what is the meaning of evaluation. Evaluation means somebody should check what you have studied is correct or not. That's evaluation. Understood? So there are different formats of evaluation. How we are going to evaluate a person, if that person has understood or not, the person has not understood. So many different aspects are there for evaluation. Understanding, not understanding. In between that, what is the mode? That is also coming under a part of evaluation. I hope you might have understood this one. So this is exactly coming under evaluation only. Understood. So this is coming under evaluation only. Now, writing test is very important. Okay. So if you are writing the test, you'll come to know that how much is your preparation. So education is most of the time education system and everything keeps on changing. So whenever somebody will be asking you like, did you understood? So if I taught you a topic and I will ask that, okay, did you understood? So definitely you will say that yes or no. If you have not understood and by your pressure of a person you are saying that yes I understood, then what will happen? It will affect you. So this understanding or non-understanding between this one line is there. So that will be checked very nicely if a test will be conducted. So if a test will be conducted means your entire understanding will be checked. So that understanding part is exactly for evaluation. So evaluation of learning is a very important topic. On one line I am going to explain. You please check this one out. So just check this. Learning has been defined as an act of acquiring new, modifying and reinforcing existing knowledge, behavior, skill, values or preferences, which may lead to potential change in generating new information and changing attitudes. So definitely learning is a very important process. Okay. Why? Because when you learn, you don't only modify things, you reinforce the existing information. Means right now, if I will be learning, so definitely if I am learning A for apple, so definitely with A for apple, that's the beginning section of my knowledge. After A for apple, I can be going for A for apple. That means what? And after that, with the help of that content, I keep on making sentences. So sentence making, framing sentence, and going from one level to another level. That's also one of the part of learning. So definitely, when learning will be there, see, learning will be there. That means what? We will be in a channel of progress. We will be in a channel of progress. Our attitude, our behavior, our way of things will be exactly getting changed. That's the most important part. Okay. So reinforcing existing knowledge, behavior, skills, values, and preferences, which may lead to potential change in generating new information. See, we are not only learning for writing an examination. First thing we have to understand, we are learning to change our attitude. We are learning to gain some information. We are learning to generate a discipline inside us. We are learning to change our surroundings. So definitely many things are there. Learning is always beneficial. I hope you might have understood, Ruchi. So that means what? So thus it is important to evaluate learning, particularly in education. So that's what. So here we are not learning for one purpose. We are learning for multiple purpose. So learning is not here is only for one basis. Yes, that's what now. We are not only learning for one work, and that work we are exactly doing is okay, fine, learning is there. We have learned one chapter, then writing a test, so our learning is over. No, that's not. That's not the usual channel of learning. The learning is exactly reflecting one thing. How much you are learning, that much change should be there in your attitude. So education system is exactly putting emphasis on two things. What is learning must change your behavior for good, not for bad. Understood? And the second important thing that what things you are learning that should have some skill inside you, that should bring some skill inside you, because of which you can be able to generate money and your livelihood should be getting good. So for that is the basic purpose, that is the basic reason we people are learning. That's the most important part. I hope you might have understood it. So we learn to understand, we learn to clarify our content, we learn to upgrade our knowledge. Understood? We learn to change our behavior, we learn to make new skills inside us so that we can be able to whatever get our livelihood. So there are many factors associated with learning. This is exactly one factor. Okay. So now evaluation. Education is continuously changing process. Yes. So education, if somebody will be asking you why we are learning and why we are evaluating, so there are two reasons behind it. See, understand? Education will be changed. So if 20 years back or 50 years back, if you will go, that 50 years back what they were studying, what the students were studying, that's not the correct part what we are. So if 20 years back what we have studied, 50 years back what we have studied, if that same education will be now, then that means it will hinder the progress. Understood? Somewhere it will stop the progress. So according to changing years, according to coming years, we are exactly changing the education system. Why? Because new arrival of information, new arrival of technology should also be added in the education system so that we will keep on updating our information. Understood or not? So just 50 years before, nobody was not knowing about mobile. So definitely mobile was not there. So that is also a new thing that is exactly generated. I hope you might have understood this one. So see, education is a continuously changing process and thus need to be continuously evaluated. Measurement is a precondition for evaluation. Yes, measurement. Here measurement of knowledge we have to take. Understood? So this is a while evaluation is qualitative. Understood? Measurement is quantitative. Measurement is a precondition for evaluation. First part. Second is measurement is quantitative and objective while evaluation is qualitative and subjective. Correct only now. So one is objective and the second one is subjective. Understood or not? So while measurement aim only at ascertaining the quantity, evaluation will be aiming at correcting the weakness discovered. Correct only now. See, when I evaluate myself, like evaluation can be done in two levels. First level is someone said something to you and you have to answer after that statement is over. That's a normal evaluation. Means you're listening or not listening. Hi Satya, you are listening, not listening. That also comes under that part. But that also comes under that part. But if you are writing in a school examination, that means one chapter you have studied and that chapter is not over. Now, based on that chapter, you are writing an examination. Now, that examination will have the content that is you have studied in the chapter. Now, what is there? The only concept is what you have learned in the chapter. Omika. Yes, Bhumika, hi Bhumika. So what you have learned in the chapter, that chapter content you have to reflect in your knowledge. Understood or not? Like in the chapter, it was written that if this science content is written in that, and a very simple part is written in that कि, okay, fine, you should not be eating this food with this food. So an information is given, like you should not be eating this in an empty stomach, and that was a part of information in the chapter given, and that's coming under life science. So you learn that part. In examination, that question came, you wrote that. But you know what? You learned it, you wrote it, you remembered it. So next time when it is coming in your life, like कि suddenly that food item came with you, came in front of you, then suddenly what you will do? Will you eat that? No, you will have some precautions. Okay, fine. This food item came in front of me. This I am not directly going to jump into that food item and eat. I know how much I have to intake that food. That means what? That comes under learning. So this is what is the strict education part is saying that when we learn, education is an ever-changing process. Okay, but when we are learning through understanding the nature and the subject content. So here what they are telling, evaluation is largely based on education objectives and the learning experiences. Understood or not? So this is the most important part, Ruchi, and those who are present right now, just listen here. That while measurement aims only at ascertaining the quantity, evaluation aim at correcting the weakness discovered. Understood or not? So if I will write an answer wrong, like 10 questions has been asked from me, four I wrote wrong, six I wrote correct. That means what? I'm standing at actually one conclusion. Yeah, I have done six correct and four wrong. That means four I have to still learn. That evaluation came. That understanding came. Like this topic is still not clear to me. How I came to know that this topic is not clear to me? Because at the time of learning, I had overconfidence that I know everything. But when I got evaluated by writing a test means now I'm thorough like okay fine this topic still needs some clarification from my side. I hope you might have understood this one. So difference between, so that's what is the most important part. Three things you must remember. Measurement is a quantitative and objective, while evaluation is qualitative and subjective. So this part, because from this section, more questions are asked in CTET examination. So we must be reading this section line by line and content by content. So please understand this one. Evaluation is largely based on educational objectives and learning experiences. Understood or not? So what you learn, how much you learn to gain an experience, and based on that experience only, you are going to lead with the process like. So now difference between assessment and evaluation. That's the very important part. What is the difference between assessment and what is the difference evaluation? So if somebody will be asking you, what is the major difference between assessment and evaluation? Ruchi, how was your BEd examination? Just at the time of teaching, just it came, so I asked you. Sorry to ask this. You wrote well? It was lengthy. At the time I was writing paid examination, I was boss. I still remember my score. I think I got 89.9% in BEd examination. Little bit left. I got ever distinction in fourth paper. That was like a full-time college going and fighting with professors. That was me. I was doing regular classes, regular course for BEd. I was very lucky, only 1 year I had to do. In 1 year, I was damaged by teachers. So I know child psychology. That's very crucial and very cruel. So human psychology plus children psychology all part together, coming education. You score good, yeah. Nothing is like that. You need to just be very what you call to the point. To the point you have to write. I wrote how much I was like understanding like the chapters and all. I was reading full. I like in graduation also I got that same habit. MSc also same habit. Full time reading. That was mental. So evaluation is the process of observing and measuring a thing from the purpose of judging it, of determining its value. Okay, we'll go for us understanding. I think you will get more than 90% here. Don't worry. See, assessment is what? Assessment is a process of objectively understanding the state or condition of a thing by observation and measurement. Okay. So, by observation and measurement, if you are understanding something, observation. So, observation I am doing and measurement. This assessment of teaching means measuring its effectiveness. Understood not? So this is one part. Assessment is one part. Kuti assessment we are doing in class. Small assessments we are doing in class. Huh? So that means what? Assessment is a process of objectively understanding the state. Objectively understanding the state. Remember this one. Understanding the state or condition of things by observation and measurement. Thus, assessment of teaching means measuring its. Shoot me. I did something. Sorry, I did something. Okay. No, it is okay. Something I did. Now look here. Wait, I'm saying, Ruchi, listen. So now, this assessment of teaching means measuring its effectiveness, of its effectiveness. So this is very important, Ruchi. We must remember this part. Okay. Now, Ruchi, according to you, what is assessment? According to you, what is assessment? How you can be understanding what is, because we are writing summative assessment as there in class. Many times we are doing summative assessments. We are doing summative assessment means summative assessments we were doing. So when we are doing summative assessments means we were trying to understand the things, and just like full essay examination 1, essay examination 2 we were writing. So that comes under summative assessment. Okay. Now we have to understand this part. Now check this one out. Assessment is a process of objectively understanding the state or condition of a thing. State or condition of a thing can be understood with the help of assessment. Okay, Ruchi? Next part is that condition. Okay, next part is what? The observation and thus assessment of teaching means measuring of its effectiveness. How much the teaching part by observation and measurement is coming, that comes under assessment. Always understand this one. Okay, always remember. Again, this mental piece has collapsed. Ruchi, just give me 1 second. Mata, full spelling is wrong. Check one time. I can't hear it. I'm in class. Nice time you are asking questions. Rest of that is correct. Only that two spelling mistake is there. You rectify that. Okay, fine. Get back to class, please. Fine. Now look here. So evaluation is the process of observing and measuring a thing for the purpose of judging it and for determining its value. First one only we are doing observation, understood, and then measurement, understood. So this means measuring effectiveness of any work we are exactly doing by assessment. Second part is evaluation. It is a process of observing, measuring a thing for the purpose of judging it or determining its value either by comparison to similar thing or to standards. So evaluation of teaching means passing judgment on the teacher as a part of administrative process. So assessment we are going to, so simple thing I am going to tell you that assessment, can I do assessment? Hi everyone. So we are doing assessment on one work. We are doing assessment on, so see, we are doing assessment on what? We are doing assessment on students and we are doing evaluation on teachers. Simple thing I'm just telling you, just for kidding I'm telling you. Sorry, I don't mean to say like that. So you just understand that when we are talking about assessment, we are doing assessment and then we are getting evaluation. Like, see, how in the class the students have performed. It totally reflects how the teacher has taught. Here in India, in education system, this is exactly one thing which is running parallel. So if a teacher in the class is effectively teaching and the learning process is very good, it reflects, the teaching is getting reflected in the paper. Most of the student will be able, all the best. Yes, so that's what, because we people are judging this only, like how, like one examination has been conducted, and the principal first question will be, okay, did you taught all these things? Then why? Because the principal is exactly going to evaluate the teacher. Like, did the teacher cover the syllabus? If the teacher has covered the syllabus, the student will be knowing all the concepts. Or did you do continuous test? So these are the questions given to the teachers, understood or not? Because the evaluation will be done wholesome in the classroom, like how the teacher has, how the teacher has effectively taught, how the student has effectively studied, and what is the parameter in which the progress has to be measured. So there are many factors associated with that. What is exactly assessment and evaluation? Evaluation is a big scope, big scale where total things can be judged. Assessment will be for a small scale. Understood or not? So that's the most important major section we must remember. Okay. So formative assessment is done by conducting tests. Now we are going to formative assessment. So different type of assessments are there. We know that summative assessment is there, formative assessment is there. So one could be test, one big test, understood or not? So like SA1, SA2, we are writing summative assessment, now formative assessment. So like that assessment name has been written. Assessment is exactly a small scale work of evaluation. Evaluation of teacher teaching, evaluation of student learning. So both will be checked in that parameter. Both will be checked in that parameter. So understand this. So formative assessment is done by conducting tests, evaluating assignment, assessing project, making observation, etc. This assessment gives a good idea to the teacher about the effectiveness of this teaching activity. Then the teacher must give an honest feedback to the learner about their performance in the formative assessment. I hope you might have understood this one. Like, I will be teaching one concept. I will be teaching one concept. Based on that concept, I am going to conduct some seminars. I'm going to conduct some quiz. I'm going to conduct some small scale tests. I'm going to conduct a big test. And in all the process, whatever the progress I have noticed from the student from the student side, I will be giving it as a feedback. Understood? So I will be giving it as a feedback. Okay, these are the feedbacks given to the student for this that work. I hope you might have understood. Now listen, the next one. In contrast, summative assessment is measurement for purpose of improving. See, formative assessment is for evaluating, knowing that where and all things are correct and wrong. But summative assessment is a very, very different thing. It is measurement for purpose of improvement in. So summative assessment is what we normally call evaluation. That's the big scale evaluation. Why? In summative assessment, totally we will give the questions late, orderly giver, complete, So पूरा दे दिया एक बार. Generally, two methods of evaluation have been used in education. Norm reference, that is referenced evaluation and criterion reference evaluation. This is described below. So we are going to discuss this one. But first, did you understood this one, Ruchi? That what is exactly the first one and what is exactly the second one? Formative assessment and summative assessment. Formative assessment and summative assessment. Yes. So that's the basic difference between formative assessment and summative assessment, where one will be like a different type of small putty test, speech or what you call presentation or seminar we will be conducting, or different type of works we will be doing, and we'll try to know the progress of the student. That comes under formative. Summative means where the chapter's core concept will be asked in different what you call the question pattern. That comes under summative assessment. Summative assessment is a total evaluation. Understood? So total evaluation means how much you have understood, what concept you have understood, how you have that what you call writing tendency or not. Do you have that capability to understand the concept from the chapter, and you can be able to generate it as an answer. So everything will be just there. Core writing examination format. Okay, so now look here. But here generally two methods of evaluation is there. First is non-reference evaluation. So let's see. This refers to standardized test. Standardized test. Understood? Deepak Kumar, namaste, namaste. So this refers to standardized tests that are designed to compare and rank test takers in relation to one another. Definitely, na. So here in norm one means standardized test. One like I conducted a test, and after that top 1 to 10 rank I have given to 60 students has given the test, and the 60 students will be judged according to their score, and after that top 10 will be getting ranks. So that comes under non-reference evaluation. Understood? So we are conducting a test, and after that we are giving ranks according to their performance. That's the simple part. Understood? So here, so non-reference test gives the information about how test takers takers have performed when compared to that is hypothetical average student, which is determined by comparing scores against the performance result of the so which is determined by comparing score against the performance result of a statistically selected group of test takers. Understood now? Now non-referred achievement is reported as a percentage or percentile. Yes, correct now. That's a core teaching and learning process is there. So once core teaching and learning process is there, so that time my answer all the questions. Okay. So let's check this one out. So which is determined by comparing scores against. So when you are comparing the scores, hello, hello. Nothing. So now non-referred test gives the performance information about how test takers have performed while compared to that is hypothetical average student, which is determined by comparing scores. Okay. So now average students, which is determined by comparing. Sorry, I just got this phone. So now against the performance result of statistical selected group of test takers, see in this now what we are doing actually is we are conducting tests, we are knowing the performance of the student, and after knowing the performance of the student, actually we are giving percentage or percentile, and then we will be exactly ranking the system as 1 to 10. Understood not? So in that test, maybe multiple choice questions will be there, true false will be there, means there will be a format, and that will be more or less a competitive based where the knowledge, understanding and the education part what you have studied will be checked. Okay. So the criterion reference, so now criterion reference evaluation. Criterion reference test and assessment measures student performance against a fixed set of predetermined criteria or learning standard. Understood not? So this part मुझे अच्छे से एक बार देखो ये क्या बोल रहा है, इसको अंडरलाइन करिए क्योंकि ये बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट है. Criterion referenced test and assessments measure students' performance against a fixed set of predetermined criteria और learning standard. ये उसके against में और opposite में जाता है. ठीक है? This means concise written descriptions of what students are expected to know and be able to do at a specific stage of their education. तो यहाँ पे हम बिल्कुल वन सेट पे नहीं, हम उसका पूरा सेट का क्वेश्चन और सारे चीज को ले करके हम उसको सॉल्व करते हैं. गॉट इट? सो यहाँ पे इसीलिए उसको कहते हैं क्राइटेरिया रेफरेंस टेस्ट. सो लाइक हम बहुत सारा टेस्ट कंडक्ट करते हैं, मीन्स मेनी टेस्ट वी आर कंडक्टिंग. अंडरस्टैंड? गवर्नमेंट लेवल पे भी कुछ टेस्ट कंडक्ट करते हैं, स्कूल लेवल पे भी टेस्ट कंडक्ट करते हैं, तो उसका जो वैल्यू होता है वो डिफरेंट होता है. सो क्राइटेरियन रेफरेंस टेस्ट and assessment measures students performance against a fixed set of predetermined criteria. तो वहां पे हम बिल्कुल ओपन में जाकर के जो भी क्वेश्चंस होगा उसका जो स्टैंडर्ड है उसके बेस पे क्वेश्चंस डालते हैं. जैसे कि अभी मैं पीएचडी कर रही हूँ, तो पीएचडी के लेवल से लेकर जितना मेरा इंफॉर्मेशन है अकॉर्डिंग टू माय स्टेट कि अभी मैं प्रेजेंट सिचुएशन में क्या हो. जैसे कि प्लस टू पास करने के बाद बच्चे जेई का एग्जाम देते हैं, तो जब जेई का एग्जाम दे रहे हैं तो वहां पे क्या हो रहा है कि जो जेई का स्टैंडर्ड का क्वेश्चन होगा उसके सिलेबस के हिसाब से बच्चों को उस एग्जाम में अपेयर करना पड़ेगा. तो यही हो गया क्राइटेरिया रेफरेंस टेस्ट. Understood? This means concise written description of what students are expected to know and be able to at a specific stage of their education. So this stage means what stage they are. So it's a very concise test, a predetermined evaluation, everything वहाँ पे judged होगा. ठीक है? So these are extensively used in school education, where criteria reference tests are used to evaluate whether students have learned a specific body of knowledge or acquired a specific skill. So here, according to the syllabus will be given, and once according to the syllabus will be given, the topic will be taught, and then once the topic is taught, how much the student have understood, that have to be checked in the form of test. So I hope you might have understood this one. So here in both the system, you need to understand that according to the age reference, according to the class what you are in, the test will be conducted. The format of the test will be different. And since the format of the test will be different, specifically the skills will be judged accordingly. Understood or not? So here what conditions will be there? Non-referenced evaluation, where exams non-referenced achievements is reported as a percentage or percentile ranking. Understood or not? And here strictly जो chapter में पढ़ाया है, chapter के content को लेकर के जो भी understanding generate हो उन सबको लेकर के जो पढ़ा दिया वो इस criterion reference evaluation हो गया. तो reason for evaluation, what and all are the reasons for evaluation? हम evaluation करते क्यों हैं? What is the reason for evaluation? I hope you might have understood this one. So what is the reason for evaluation? If somebody will be asking, ensuring learning takes place. Understood or not? Yes. So this is exactly very important. So that means what ki learning has been done or not. Class में जाके कुछ भी blabber करके आ गए. Means we went to class, we blabbered something and we came back. Understood or not? That's not teaching. Understood? So it will check both effectiveness. It will check. या स्टूडेंट लर्न और नॉट, तो टीचर ने कुछ भी पढ़ा दिया, स्टूडेंट ने कुछ भी समझ लिया, तो उसको लर्निंग नहीं कहेंगे हम। तो जो पढ़ा उससे बच्चे को क्या सीखने को मिला, दैट कम्स अंडर इवैल्यूएशन। तो वो इवैल्यूएशन में चेक होना चाहिए, वी मस्ट चेक दैट इन इवैल्यूएशन। I hope you might have understood this one. So assessment should provide information about the level of understanding that students are reaching. Frequent feedback to learner is required so that the learner monitor their learning. So here frequent feedback is also needed. You need to understand that. So here both the things will be shared. How to the point teachers are, yes. How to the point teachers are exactly able to evaluate also. Yes, that's also able to explain the topics here. टीचर और स्टूडेंट दोनों का ही टेस्ट हो जाता है यहाँ पे। टेस्ट टीचर नहीं, साथ में पेरेंट्स का भी टेस्ट होता है। पेरेंट्स ने कितना पढ़ा, पढ़ के पढ़ाया वो भी हो जाता है। तो यहाँ पे दोनों ही चीजें कर सकते हैं हम लोग कि स्टूडेंट, यस, हाउ द पॉइंट, यस। So here, this is exactly the most important point. Okay, ensuring teaching effectiveness. Yes, so teacher can be effective if teachers start by what you call setting. If teachers start by setting student learning objective instead of about what the teacher will do, teacher must assess their student based on their primary, that is primary learning objective. So हाँ, यहाँ पे एक चीज बहुत अच्छा important है. I want to tell you this. Like it's not about us. It's not about teachers. It's about student. This all the teacher has to. It's not about what we are doing. It's about what we can achieve. That's the most important thing here. तो यहाँ पे ये चीज इम्पोर्टेंट नहीं है कि हम क्या अचीव करें, यहाँ पे इट्स अबाउट द स्टूडेंट्स, अंडरस्टूड नॉट। सो इज द स्टूडेंट लर्निंग, इज द स्टूडेंट अंडरस्टूड द कॉन्सेप्ट, द स्टूडेंट्स हैव what you call initiated the concepts in their brain or not, or will they be able to take on this information into the second level and they can be able to keep it in their conscious state of mind and do something innovative with this. So many questions comes back to back, understood not? So the first part is what? The first part is ensuring learning takes place. Yes, learning takes place means both have understood. The teacher understood, the student learned, the student understood that this is the concept the teacher want to teach and this concept is inside me. That's ensuring the education. Now, teacher effectiveness. How effectively I will teach, that much effectively the student will learn. So I have to generate that interest of the topic inside the student. And if that interest is there, the student learn means the student will be able to reflect it normally. So that's also a very important point. Understood? A quality learning environment is, now for creating a quality learning environment, that's very, very important. See, many times, yes, many times what happens like the students, they are just what you call, the classroom will be very off. Off means teacher took the book and she is reading it out, reading it out, reading it out, reading out. The chapter is over. That's where the student did not show the interest. Like I have to study that. There is no interest in that. Another way the teacher is communicating with the student, talking with the student, make some slides, and she is using whatever small videos to let the student understand the concept. She is telling the student to come up and you speak about the questions where and all things are lagging and where and all things has to be changed. This is what the teacher is very much effectively generating an interest in the topic for the student. Now the student is showing interest to learn that topic. That's the most important thing. Thank you so much. So now look at, bless you. So definitely the student has generated an understanding. Okay, fine. This is the topic and I have to do like that. For this, the teacher has to come up. The teacher way of teaching or explanation should hit the brain brain of the student like, okay, fine, this is the concept and this is very, very easy and I can be able to do it. So if this concept comes under inside the teacher, like I have to generate interest, then the student will definitely be showing response. What is the response? They will smile, they will cooperate with the teacher, they will itself come up and start answering. They'll raise their hand and they'll say that, okay, fine, I can answer this question. So definitely there are many parameters where the teachers can be judged. So the class should not be monotonous, the class should be interesting, where the teacher and the student should have interaction between each other. And in between, the student should be asked questions by the teacher. Did you understood? Are you comfortable? Did you understood this part? This section is lagging or not? This section is good or not? So definitely at that pace of time, the student will understand that the teacher is giving attention to each and every sections what the teacher is teaching. The student will also be little careful to answer the question. I hope you might have understood. So, learner-centered. Now, it pay attention to the knowledge, skill, attitude, and beliefs that learner bring to the educational setting. Yes, definitely. Now, so the teaching should be learner-centered. Learner-centered. It's not about the teachers; it's about the student. So, see, you have to be available. You have to be well-trained to understand the concepts, and then you have to teach the student. You have to generate interest. Your quality of teaching should be that much where the student can understand it and the student can be able to utilize it for their life purpose. So there are many factors associated with it. One factor is this one. That is learner centered, not knowledge centered. Second one is knowledge centered. Just for the sake of teaching, I should not blabber anything now. That also is not good. So knowledge centered means if one topic I kept in my hand, just like right now I'm teaching evaluation. So one topic if I'm keeping in my hand means I should have to do proper justification with that topic. So what and all understood now. So definitely what is exactly given here is knowledge centered means here need to help student become knowledgeable by learning in ways that get to understand. So definitely this knowledge has to be understandable. Means here, what I mean to say that whatever knowledge of a topic is there, the student should understand it, and after understanding it, the student should implement it in assessments, and after that, the student should implement it in life science also. Means where and all the learning and the understanding is required, and after that, reflection is required. Means, has to do that. So I hope you might have understood this part. Assessment center. So it provides opportunity, feedback, revision, test, and everything should be done. And based on that, we'll be able to know that the student has learned or not. So assessment is a door or a window, what you can say, through which we can look through the progress of the student. In a very simple way, assessment can bring the result of their understanding or their growth in their understanding skills. So many things are there which will be judged there. Now community center, definitely community comes at the last and community is most important. But see here, so community will see whatever we are reading now, it should not go beyond the community, beyond the human system. Understood or not? So if somebody will be giving some wrong remark and that wrong remark. So wrong remark given means that is exactly not going to go good also. So you need to understand this part. So now look here. So this refer to several aspects of community, including the classroom as community, the school as a community, and the degree to which the student, teacher, and administrator feel connected to the larger community of homes, business, states, nation, and even at the world. So school is not having only one work. School is having many work. One work is connecting the student with the school, connecting the student with the surrounding, and then connecting the student with the world, connecting the student with the nation, and connecting the student with the country where the student is exactly in. So I hope you might have understood this one, Ruchi. Is it clear? I hope it is it clear? Yes. So types of assessment, let's see. फॉर्मेटिव असेसमेंट तो ऑलरेडी अभी हम लोग ने शुरू किया था. नेक्स्ट क्लास में फॉर्मेटिव असेसमेंट पे जाएंगे रुचि, और नेक्स्ट क्लास में फॉर्मेटिव असेसमेंट ये मटेरियल आई विल प्रोवाइड यू. आफ्टर दैट वी विल बी टॉकिंग अबाउट इट. So I hope you might have understood this one. So formative assessment, shall I continue? So summative and formative two assessment portfolio is also there. See, nowadays portfolio they are checking. Nowadays portfolio they are checking. Understood now? So portfolio and many things they are checking, formative and portfolio and summative. All the three are there. Formative, portfolio and summative. I hope you might have understood this one. Formative, assessment and portfolio. So three are there. Go ahead. I will go ahead, no problem. So now look here. So first is formative. This occur over a short term. Yes, formative test is a short term test. Understood now? In between short, as learners are in the process of making meaning of new content and integrating it into what they already know. So feedback to the learner is quick to enable the learner to change their behavior. Yes. So formative test में जो स्कूल में जो हम छोटे-छोटे टेस्ट करते हैं चैप्टर के बाद वो हो गया formative assessments. Understood now? That is considered as what? Formative assessment. Huh? So now look here. So this into what they already know. Feedback to the learner is quick to enable the learner to change their behavior and understanding. Formative assessment also enables the teacher to rethink their instructional strategies, activities, and content-based student understanding. Okay, and the teacher role here is similar to that of role of a coach. See, most of the time I'm telling I'm not a facilitator, I'm not a teacher. And CBSE itself, the NCF, that is National Curriculum Framework, they are always telling that the teacher should be a facilitator. Facilitator means we should be providing all the facility, all the type of information to the students, and the student should be adopting that, and then how they are behaving, that's the most important part. Understood now? Thus, attendance and behavior of child comes under formative. Yes, because short term में जो बच्चा बार बार क्लास में जा रहा है, टेस्ट दे रहा है, वो इम्पोर्टेंट है ना, वो जज हम कर पाएंगे ना, ऐसे हम जज कहाँ कर पाते हैं, तो वो इम्पोर्टेंट होगा ना, निकालेंगे हम, पता करेंगे स्टूडेंट कंटिन्यूसली स्कूल में आ रहा है, तो स्टूडेंट कंटिन्यूसली दे आर कंडक्ट अटेंडिंग देयर क्लासेस, वो यस बिहेवियर ऑफ चाइल्ड सी यहाँ पे फॉर्मेटिव में हम what we are doing in formative is like 2 chapters we are taking test. Okay, now in that 2 chapters how the student is responding, that comes under formative test. That comes under what? Formative test. That's short term, in between intervals the test is conducting, so that considered as formative test. Okay, so now here formative assessment also enable the teacher to rethink their instructional strategies, activities and content based on student understanding and performance. The teacher role here is similar to that of coach. Formative assessment can be informal, like observing the learner's work, or formal, like writing test. So that's everything तो यहाँ पे है कि ना, everything is written here and everything is like very clearly understandable here. That कि देखो यहाँ पे क्या दिया हुआ है, इसको देखो. Formative assessment also enables the teacher to rethink their instructional strategies, activities and content based on student understanding and performance. So 2 chapters का टेस्ट फॉर्मेटिव टेस्ट लिया, उसमें सारे स्टूडेंट फेल हो गए, उसमें चैप्टर ही नहीं पढ़ा है कि नहीं, मतलब we didn't, the teacher is like okay fine, everything is collapsing, so think the teacher will think okay 5 chapter means summative assessment will come means I am dead. Because see, it's like corporate world here, teacher also have to give answer to the authority, to the administration. Like, okay, I taught, but the student will, the teacher can't say like that, because it's the total burden is on the head of the teacher. Like, if the student is not performing good, means something is wrong with the teacher itself. So they'll take like that, but you need to understand. So the student, the teacher has to rethink about the strategies what she has implemented, because the whole burden is on the head of the teacher. Like the student have understood or not. So that means what, I have to keep on changing my strategies to change everything and let the student understand that. So that's most of. So the most important part in here is don't give up. That's what. So keep on trying, keep on trying, keep on trying, keep on trying. One day will come when the student will understand, okay, this is it. So that's the most crucial part of it. I hope you might have understood this one. Huh? So performance, the teacher role here is similar to that of coach, formative. So that's what. So that's why they have indicated like a coach now. Just understand. Like cricket, how the coach is teaching. Hey, this is the wrong shot. You have to do like this. You have to do like that. Same way the teacher will say, hey, this chapter is not ready for you. You read it. You read this question. Read this question. Read this question. That is what you are instructing the student after the formative test. You know the situation of the class. Now you know that another exam is coming. So before that, you will make the student get ready for writing the examination. Many things are there. We need to understand that. Huh? So formative assessment can be informal like observing the learner work or formal like writing test. So both will be there now. So one seminar or something small test I am going to conduct means one seminar conducting. I have given some topics. Means one chapter I divided into 7 groups. Okay. Now 7 groups are giving a seminar. Understood or not? So when they are giving seminar, means all of them are what you call writing everything and keeping, and one person coming from there and they will be presenting it. And one group, so 6 group successfully did that. It's like okay, all of them have done a thorough investigation. But when the group student came and you started individually asking the question, flop so. Means individually they don't know. What they did is out of the 7, one very intelligent student they pushed, hey, you give the seminar. And after that remaining enjoyed. So after that what happened? The building of the teacher's brain is collapsed. So that is what the teacher understood that in group this will not work. So she will give individual questions. So like that, that's called as it's type of experimentation where you have to learn by seeing them that how they are progressing. That's also one of the most important things. Okay, it is the most powerful type of assessment for improving student understanding and performance. Definitely. So छोटे छोटे changes when we will be doing this, it will be like okay fine. So till the summative assessment will not come, till a big exam will not come. Before that, we have enough time to keep on changing and keep on monitoring the student like a coach. Okay. Now, what is the meaning of portfolio? It is called interim assessment. It takes place occasionally over a long time period. Understood? Feedback to the learner is more formal, using tool for assessment like project, written assignment, and test. तो डेफिनेटली जितना भी किया सबका एक ही बार डाल दो उसमें. That comes under portfolio. Okay, the learner should be given opportunities to re-demonstrate their understanding when the feedback has been understood and based upon. So definitely, जहाँ पे the teacher has given okay write a portfolio. So definitely, if I'm writing my portfolio, means I will write that I failed in first test, I failed in second test, I failed in third test. Means what? How it is going to sound if I will say that I failed in all the tests. So if I'm writing my portfolio, means I really wish my portfolio to be best now, so that the teachers, the administration, every people, most important, parents should like it. Correct now? If the parent is not liking it, means story over. So definitely, this is the most important section now. So the feedback should be going like so. Portfolio. If I'm writing my portfolio, means I really wish my portfolio to be best. करेक्ट ना सो देर कुछ भी फेल और सबका जो जितना now the teacher told all the 10 tests you wrote now all the scores with date you should be writing and where and all questions you have not understood which topic you went in seminar you have not went in seminar also you write absent so definitely it will hurt the heart of the student like I did not went in seminar and now I don't know what I have to write in my portfolio so definitely to make the portfolio look good where all the commands of the work is shown in the student performance definitely the student will be doing they have the fear of portfolio first fear after that only so from the beginning they will be writing the test pakka I hope you might have understood so definitely you see written assessment and test the learner should be given opportunity to re-demonstrate their understanding when the feedback has been understood and aged upon interim assessment can help teacher identify gaps in student understanding and the teacher instructions. Teachers should address this gap before moving on or by incorporating solutions into over upcoming instructions and activities. पूरा जो डेटा तैयार किया उसको ज्यादा सड़क के ऊपर जाके फेंक दो ये लो understand whatever you have understood like this fix this one has given the test this that so full vomit in the portfolio and after that the student will understand that okay these are the gaps and the teacher will also understand that okay these are the gaps and there and all other situations where I did not I hope So this is exactly the most important point. So summative assessment take place at the end of the last bit of learning. Okay, पढ़ते गए means 6 months we studied fully formative assessment done, portfolio done. Now comes a big test. In that big test, like 6 chapters, 7 chapters, huge questions and the full lane पूरा एक बार में डाल दिया. So means पूरा one time में उसको दे करके उसको टेस्ट करें कि हाँ भाई समझ में आया कि नहीं आया. तो वो हो गया समेटिव टेस्ट. So these results are primarily used by the teacher and school to identify strength and weakness of a curriculum and instruction. So पूरा साल का जो निकला वो हो गया summative test. Okay. Now a result of summative assessment may take time to return to the student. Parents' feedback to the student is usually very limited, and the student usually has no opportunity to be reassessed. The summative assessment tends to have the least impact on improving the individual student. Formative assessment, there is a chance of improvement. Summative assessment is direct love letter to the parents. Understood or not? So summative assessment tends to have the least impact on improving an individual student understanding or performance. So student parents can use the result of summative assessment to understand where the student performance lies compared either in the standard or the gap group. So where the student performance is good either here or there, everything should be checked in this part. I am dead. Now we will be keeping it till here. Distinction between assessment. The next topic we cover करते हैं. After that, exercise test. So first we will study this and after the test. So I am going to take your formative test. Understood. So I'll take your formative test with you. Are you ready for it? Okay. I'm going to keep it till here now. Good night. Tomorrow most probably I'll teach.